how do you help the community with all this pandemic?
Yeah, like I say, we've got involved in the mask. Obviously, everyone was involved in masks. Whether it was, we donated a lot of product that could be made into masks. Obviously, especially right near the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We've had volunteers out at Second Harvest Food Bank, but a lot of it is just listening, learning. I'm on quite a lot of boards. I won't list them all, but I'm on a lot of boards. But again, a piece of what I do personally is use my own platform to advocate. So one of my best friends has a children's cancer charity called Cannonball Kids Cancer. And last month was Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. It doesn't get anywhere near the amount of funding or a light shone on it like many other of the adult cancers. But Major League Soccer has taken it on as a league-wide. So the whole league goes gold for September. The players wear a special patch on their jersey. The goal nets are gold. The corner flags are gold. And they do a lot with the hospitals. And obviously for us, Orlando Health, Arnold Palmer Hospital and Winnie Palmer Hospital are our partners anyway. So, we obviously want to promote that. But I use my own platform too, because, like I say, because my friend has her own nonprofit.
Yeah.
And different from a lot of the other smaller cancer charities because they focus on finding the cure. So the money they raise goes into trials and different trials all over the country as well, not just here in Orlando. Trying to get better outcomes. Kids are still being treated with chemotherapy that's meant for adults. Nobody's focused on, it should be something different for kids. So, I do use my own platform where I can and where I'm passionate. It's the boards that I'm on. It's because it hits something in my heart and makes me say, I want to help you and I want to do whatever I can, whether it's, finding new donors or spreading the word, advocating, those are things I can do and I will.
Oh, that's so nice. And have you always been involved on helping the community? Was that always a thing that motivated you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's funny, two answers to this. When I was a kid, and I'm one of 5 children, a lot of houses back in those days used to help a nonprofit called Dr. Bernardo's Homes. And it was obviously in England, and they were homes for orphans or for foster kids, whatever. And so as kids, it was like this little, like a piggy bank, like a little house. And we were encouraged by my parents to put some of our savings in there, our own pocket money. We would put in this money, and somebody would come around once a month and collect the money. And so my sisters and brothers and I, we would put shows on in our garden. We would do singing and dancing and whatever. And we would charge all our neighbors and our friends parents, charge them to come and watch us in the garden. And we never raised like tons and tons of money. But I think it was instilled in me right from an early age that there are always people who are less fortunate than you, and you should do what you can to help. And I think for me, it really kind of came to fruition when I first moved to America, and I was living in Austin and waiting on a green card, and I couldn't work. I wasn't allowed to work. And so that was where I started volunteering for a couple of nonprofits in Austin, still in touch with now. But I started, you know, just doing volunteer work. And I think that was when I really started taking notice of the nonprofit world and how it worked and what being on a board meant, you know, what the responsibilities were as a board member, and what kinds of things you could bring to the table, no matter who you were. You know, I'm very proud of my foundation board. You know, the diversity of the board on every level. You know, it's diverse in ethnicity, but it's also diverse in you know, the backgrounds and the jobs that we do. It's a really, I feel we've done a really, not by accident, but definitely by design as well. But what you want for a board is that it is reflective of where you live. So it needs to look like Orlando. It needs to reflect that. And I think we've done a pretty good job over the years of doing that. But it was definitely being in Austin and only being able to do volunteer work, charity work, that made me think, this is great. Like I love that feeling of being able to help, that you've done something good today, you know. And I feel like my department in the office, we're the lucky ones, because we're the ones, like, I have folders, files full of thank you letters, just hundreds of them, from kids, from nonprofits, from all over the place, because we get to do that, you know, that good work out there, and we get all the accolades. Even though, of course, it's only made possible by the whole team. You know, our department only exists because, you know, everyone else is there to help facilitate that. But, you know, unlike some of the other departments who get yelled at, or, you know, especially the ticket department, you know, I'm sure, you know, for them, they deserve all the accolades because of some of the abuse they get sometimes. It's better at the moment because we're winning, so that always helps. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I just think it's a very fulfilling job. You know, I love feeling that we've made a difference, no matter how small, and we can all do that. Everyone can make a difference in just in their own small space. But yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it's job satisfaction. You know, I love what I do.
Yes, and that's what we all want, right? To
yes.
Love what you do, to work in what you love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, that's great. And well, I know that you talk a lot about a tribe. What do you mean by tribe, like for Orlando City Soccer Club and also personally?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you know, I grew up watching football, soccer in my home country in England, and through good times and bad times, to be honest, because I was around when the terrible kind of hooliganism was happening in England, which was the bad side of tribalism, where, you know, there was fighting and violence, and, you know, it was quite scary going to away games. Obviously, Britain, England got a handle on it and got it sorted out. And for the most part, you know, don't get me wrong, there's still flare-ups now and again, but it's nothing like it used to be, thank goodness. The good side of the tribe is that and I remember Orlando Health did a surprise video for us after the first season in MLS, and they had gone round the tailgates talking to our fans and you know, giving testimony, if you like. And it made me cry, because it was people saying, you know, this has become my family. Like, I park next to these people every week, and now we go on vacations together, we have barbecues together. So people have become connected in a way that they weren't before. So they have, besides their actual family, they have their Orlando City family. And you will see people talk about this all the time. The supporter groups in particular are fierce family members. Like they love each other. They support each other. You know, we've had a couple of tragedies where we've lost supporters way too young through accidents. And the way everyone comes together around that is truly moving and just wonderful. So I love my Orlando City family. You know, they've supported me. You know, I went through a horrible divorce, and, you know, they would all, I'd see all these things and they'd be hashtag Team K, and, you know, everyone was just so incredible and supportive, and it just lifted me every single day. And my personal tribe are obviously my family. I have, you know, like I say, 2 sisters and 2 brothers. My parents are still around, so they're obviously my tribe. My 4 kids. But besides that, there's a tribe of people around me who, you know, they're the family that you choose. So they're the people who, and especially, you know, as you get older, I think you weed out a lot of people. You realize that you don't want those people around you who drag you down. You know, if you're going to see someone or meet someone and you've got that sinking feeling of not wanting to be there, then that's not good for you. And that's a relationship you probably need to end. So the people around me are ones who lift me up, who make me smile, who are there for you, you know, through good times and bad times. And they're the family you choose. You know, and I have some really special people in my life who are just amazing. And thank you, all you people out there. They know who they are. I know they do. But it's important, you know. Nobody can do this life alone. You know, and so having people who get you, who understand you, who, you know, can send you a meme or a joke and know that you will laugh because they know your sense of humor. You know, they know that will give you a little smile in the middle of your day. I mean, those are the people who you need to surround yourself with. And, you know, I feel incredibly lucky with the people in my life.
Ah, that's so nice. Yeah, it's very important to have like people to support you and to trust on them. Like they are going to be there for you, right?
Yes.
So nice. So, talking about the Orlando City Soccer fans and the foundation, is there a way where they help the foundation or contribute with them?
Absolutely. Gosh, yes. I think every project we've ever done, whether it's been, you know, the first garden we built, I think we had over 100 people turned up to come and help, all supported. You know, and they were there, you know, with like moving barrows and, you know, digging and planting, and a lot of hard work. Or if we've done cleanups around the stadium, you know, let's go pick up litter, whatever we have asked them to do, they always come through. You know, we did a project, oh gosh, how many years ago now? It must be 4 or 5 years ago now. Someone approached me and said, we've got this family in Paramore, not in Paramore, yeah, they were in Paramore. It's a mom and dad and 2 kids, and they've just taken in these 2 young boys who they were being looked after by a brother, and the brother got shot and killed. And so this family needed a bigger house. They'd now got 2 more kids to look after. And so a church had found them, had a property that they were willing to let them have, but it was totally run down and dilapidated. So I put an appeal out to the supporters, and one of the Ruckus members, Nick, came and did a thorough study of the house and said, well, it needs this, 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 and this. Next thing we know, we've got people donating kitchens, donating new bathroom ware, new doors and windows. We asked about landscaping, and I don't know how many different landscapers turned up. And so every time we asked, somebody stepped in. And we pretty much did a total makeover of this house for this family. So I just, they want to help in any way that they can. We don't always have enough projects for them, so they will get involved in other things on their own as well. I'm always so proud of them because they come together, and especially, like I say, looking after their own. Like if someone, you know, needs help for any reason, they come around, and, you know, whether it's monetary value or whether it's actual emotional support, they're there for each other, and it's a great relationship. And, you know, one of the things they do is those incredible tifos. You know, you'll have seen them. When we were building the stadium, we had input from the supporters and said, what do you want? And the first thing was they didn't want seats. They wanted that whole end on the north end of the stadium, the wall, to be standing only. I mean, they in the Citrus Bowl, they used to stand on the seats, so it's a lot safer to not have seats for them to stand on. They asked for railings, they asked for cup holders so they can put their beer down while they're jumping up and down. But they also asked for the pulley system. So when they do these incredible, I mean, you know what tifos, right? Because obviously you're from South America, so you know. They do these incredible pieces of art. And then, you know, we have the actual pulley system there for them. But that's something they have to work on collectively. It's something they do together. They fundraise to raise, you know, for the materials. And then they have a day or however many days it takes to actually paint it and, you know, get it ready. It's a labor of love. Always, they never disappoint. The tifos over the years have just been incredible. It's always gives me chills whenever I know there's a new tifo. I love knowing. I love not knowing. I like the surprise of seeing what it's going to be. But yeah, they're incredible. They do amazing work.
Wow, that's so amazing, and it's so good to have them and to have them support you and support the team and the foundation and everything.
Oh, we'd be nowhere without them. I mean, no team is anything without its supporters. So.
Yeah. And how do you envision the foundation in a couple of years? What is your dream for the foundation to be?
I hope, I mean, we're at 9 mini pitches right now. I would love there to be 50, 100. You know, I would love to have mini pitches everywhere. I would love there to be more gardens. We're actually working on a really cool project with Four Rivers. They're building an urban farm right in the Packing District with, you know, I can't remember how many acres it is now, but it's going to be a center for education. So school kids will be able to come and learn. It's going to be a center of innovation. So learning new and better ways to grow. You know, they've already got an old packing container that's out on Princeton that they've made a vertical farm inside it. So they're growing 300 heads of lettuce a week, just in this indoor kind of environment. So that's going to be there, and we're one of the people who put some money in. I mean, it's a lot of big companies like Disney and Dr. Phillips. It's going to be amazing, and I would love there to be more of those, so that we're not having the food that arrives on our table hasn't traveled 5,000 miles to get to us. Why are we doing that? We live in Florida. We can grow stuff here. Why aren't we? You know, and then it's better for you. There's more nutrients when it's grown and it hasn't had to travel. So I would love that. I would love to see a big decline in the childhood obesity. You know, I would love to see the numbers come down. because, you know, what it does is stores up problems for those children in later life, you know, with heart disease, with diabetes. You know, there's so many knock-on effects from childhood obesity. So I'd love to see that number coming way, way down. I don't know. I mean, there's just, and I would obviously love to see Orlando City win.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get there with all.
And I would love us to grow the women's game. You know, I think there's this weird dichotomy here in America where you've got this incredibly successful national team, and yet the league has struggled over the years. It's in a good place right now, but it's definitely had a checkered history. So I would love to grow the women's game here and see, you know, much more success, see more people in the stands. You know, that's definitely something I would love to. We have great players here, and I would love them to feel rewarded by stepping out onto, you know, into Exploria Stadium and just having a sellout crowd. It would be just so cool.
Yes, that will be very nice. And well, you're a well-known woman in the sports market, as we talked. You have won several awards, like the 2016 Businesswoman of the Year. And well, that is a very difficult thing to achieve, and congrats for all what you have done. What would you tell them to encourage them to continue with this difficult business, but also very rewarding at the end?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I would love to see more and more women in the sports industry. I think we have a lot to give. I would say, don't give up. Find a mentor. I mean, there's absolutely no harm in finding someone to help. And I'll quite freely here say that one of mine has been Linda Lemon Gonzalez, who works for Orlando Magic, who has been the best friend to me since I've been here, and who would take my calls on, you know, this has happened, or this organization's approached me about something, and what do you know about them, and what can you tell me about them? And we swap stories all the time about, you know, how to behave in a meeting even, you know, and she's told me stories about what people told her way back in the day, when women were first kind of starting to be in the boardroom with sports. And it was, you know, keep it short is a huge thing, because she said one, sorry, Linda, while I'm telling this story, she won't mind. One executive had said to her, when women speak, all the men are hearing is blah, 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 that you have to get their attention, keep it succinct, keep it short, whatever your point is. You know, and I think those are definitely things that I guess have, you know, stood me in good stead too. I mean, in a way, I'm in the boardroom, not exactly by default, don't get me wrong, I earned my way there. But I'm one of the founders of the team. So, you know, my position, my community relations, you know, if I wrote down my job description, I made my job. Like, it's what I wanted it to be, because I'm one of the founders. And so I take that privilege for myself. And so I'm in the meeting, the management meeting, because I earned my way there for sure. But I am one of the founders. So, you know, I'm going to be there. So it's a little more difficult when people ask me, how did you get where you are? Because it's a different kind of pathway. But I would definitely say, you know, intern, network, find mentors, find other women who are doing, you know, either what you want to do, and reach out. I think what you'll find is that for the most part, most women want to help other people get up that ladder. And you know, certainly me, you know, I mentor a lot of people. Not in any form. I'm not one on the formal, it's every other day. But I've met so many, especially, students, UCF students, who reach out through, the DeVos program, and just say, can I have coffee with you, or can we chat? And, why would I say no? I want, especially, with women, I want more of them in our industry. I think we're good. We need to be, we need to balance things and bring that female perspective that sometimes gets lost.
Yeah, thank you for that advice. I'm sure that we appreciate it, and all of the women that are seeing you. So this is our last question.
Okay.
You're also one of the individuals of the sporting community that are using the power of sports to inspire social good. So what would you advise or tell other companies to motivate them to help the community?
I think number one, and for us, we know who if you look at your demographics of who your customers are, which I'm sure all companies do all the time, they're always analyzing and who is our client, who's our customer. And we know the majority for us is the 18 to 35-year-olds. But we also know that group are also very socially responsible and conscious. And so they are looking for corporate social responsibility. They're looking at, who do I give my money to? Where is my loyalty going to be? And they're looking to see what you're doing as a company. What do you support? Where is your heart? Are you doing anything in the community or not? And I think that's, number one, it's the right thing to do anyway. Let's be honest. Do the right thing. And so if you're a company, you should be doing something. And it doesn't always have to be about money. I think people get stuck in this, well, we can't give $100,000, so there's no point. And that's just not the attitude. Every company can do something. And it may just be, the three things they talk about with any nonprofit is time, talent, and treasure. So we can't all do the treasure piece. I get that. It's people are, especially right now, are struggling. But the talent and the time piece, we've all got, and we can all use. And whether it is, some of my friends have been going out with Paddle for a Purpose, which is a local paddleboard company. You actually go out in kayaks at the moment. I don't think they're using the paddleboards. They go out in kayaks. And you collect trash from the lakes and we have hundreds of lakes, but you get given trash bags and there's prizes for whoever collects the most trash. So you have fun out on the lake. You're with a bunch of people who are all environmentally conscious. There's some fun prizes afterwards, but you also go away thinking, I did something good today. I did a good thing. And we all like that feeling, let's be honest. There's a something. When you give, you receive more, I always think, because you get that great feeling of, I did something good today. And so I think people get stuck into thinking it has to be some great big grand gesture, and it doesn't. Go help at your local food bank, go help at your homeless shelter, go walk someone's dog who's not well, who's sick in your neighborhood. It doesn't have to be these big grand things. But I think for any company out there, people are looking. They want to know what you're doing. What are you doing in the community? It's important. It's important to me, where I spend my money. I want to know the companies I'm spending my money with have a heart, have a conscience, and are doing something good out there.
Yeah, and you can always help, even if it's little. You can help and help your community and make the people surrounding you help too. So it's a good thing.
Well, it's a ripple effect. It is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so thank you for everything, Kay. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and thank you for taking the time for being here and sharing all of what you have shared. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you asking me.
Is there something that you want to tell the audience?
Not really, just I think, I mean, especially the way we just finished, which is, you know, have a think about what you can do in your community, and don't be put off by, you know, thinking it has to be about money, because it doesn't. You know, there are so many organizations out there looking for help. You know, and if you want to properly look at what an organization does, and that they do what they say they do, there's a website you can go on called Central Florida Foundation. So it's cffound.org. And there's a thing on there called nonprofit search. And you can put in any nonprofit that you want to, and you can find out who's on their board. You can look at their financials. You can look at the programs they have. And it's split up in categories. So I don't know, supposing you want to do something with animals, you can type animals in and all the nonprofits will pop up, and you can read through, and one of them will speak to you and say, yes, this is the one. This is the one that's for me. It speaks to me, to my heart. Their mission is something that I really care about as well. And then get involved, you know, volunteer. You know, very often there's board positions going where you can have even more of an influence. You know, just get involved in your community, I guess is what I would say.
Yes. Well, thank you, Kay. Thank you. And thank you guys for watching us. And this is all for today. Go team.
Thank you.